Hi, this is Dr. Kalsa, back to talk to you again about allergies. And I'd like to tell you in this segment a little story about vaccinations so you really understand what I said in the last segment. You know, parvo disease didn't exist when I started veterinary school. It wasn't a disease at all. And by the time I graduated in 1981, it was an absolute recognized disease, and they were developing vaccinations for it. And interestingly enough, it occurred in Japan, and it occurred in England and the United States at the exact same time. And it's a disease which is very devastating to dogs, and they can get a bloody diarrhea. And it was an epidemic for a couple of years after it came out because it was brand new. But how did a brand new disease occur in England, in Japan, and in the United States all at the same time? Well, interestingly enough, remember how I told you that vaccine batches are all contaminated with other species vaccines? And pretty much viruses are species specific, but they mutate and they have lots of generations per second. You know, they grow pretty fast. And so when they change into other things, they can actually jump species occasionally. So the feline panleukopenia, or cat distemper part of the vaccine that had contaminated the dog vaccine, suddenly jumped species. And cat distemper suddenly became parvo disease in dogs. And the way it was spread was vaccines that had grown this virus that actually caused this disease that were administered in England and in Japan and in the United States at the same time. This gives you an example of how vaccines actually have lots of stuff that you actually didn't pay for and you don't want in the first place, and how that works to confuse your immune system. Now, in my book, Dr. Kalsa's Natural Dog, I talk to you at the end of the allergy section about vaccines and tell you minimal, safe, and effective vaccination programs that won't stress your dog's immune system and that are recommended by most of the veterinary schools in the United States of America.